Hi, this is the Teaserking, coming to you with 2011 trend analysis of looking at coaching changes, young quarterbacks who have never played or inexperienced, and the experienced quarterbacks. I use this to analyze basically who to bet, especially early the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season. I find that a freshman quarterback going into a big game is not going to perform well. He's not had the experience. The speed of the game from high school to college is much different. Maybe if he's a senior and he's never played, then then he's been there a little bit, and you make an exception. But if it's a freshman or a redshirt freshman or a sophomore and this is their first action, I find that it's a big play against. You don't want to take this guy, especially on the road. Conversely, you look at the quarterback who has been around, Kellen Moore, Landry Jones, even Ryan Lidley at San Diego State. You look at those quarterbacks and you're all over them, especially against a weaker team or a team rebuilding. These are the quarterbacks you want to play on because they've been there before. They've proven they can win and the whole thing, and that's really what you're looking for. I remember a couple years ago I played Rice all the time. They had a quarterback. I can't remember his name. It was 2 or 3 years ago. But because it was Rice, because it was a good quarterback, I played Rice like 5, 6, 7 weeks. I locked them 3 or 4 weeks. And they won all the time because they had a senior quarterback who had proven. They had a good receiver, and they won. I think it was Chase Clemens was his name, and they just won, and they won big. And anytime I was getting them as a dog, I knew they wouldn't lose by a lot because they had a good quarterback and a receiver. And in college, that's huge. So in the college games, it makes a big difference. You have an experienced, well-tuned quarterback, a good coach with them, a proven coach that they've been together for a while, so it's consistency. The other thing is the coaching changes. When a coach moves, take Michigan for example, all of a sudden they go to Rich Rodriguez. He uses a total different type of player. He can't keep Ryan Mallett. All of a sudden there's no running backs, there's no defense. All these schemes change, all the personnel change. So that first year, if it's a drastic change or just a new system, the team's not going to perform well, and you can bet against them and against them and against them, and you're just going to do well. Now, if it's a good coach like a Nick Saban coming in, you can expect, like Alabama's first year, they did very, very well, but he was a proven one. It's these lesser coaches that come in that you've got to wonder about. Like, let's take Michigan, Brady Hoke. He's coming from San Diego State. I wasn't impressed with him. I thought it was a bad hire. I thought Jim Harbaugh should have been the hire the year prior, locked him up, and you'd have been fine. Extremely poor athletic department management by Michigan not to get Jim Harbaugh when they had him. He proved himself at San Diego, and he certainly proved himself at Stanford. And to let him go, if you can't see what he was doing, I mean, you could see they were getting better and better and better. But to not sign him when they could have was absolutely ridiculous. Now they're stuck with Brady Hoke, who, he was a Michigan defensive coordinator when Charles Woodson was there, and he wants to take credit for it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's like everybody being the quarterback coach for Brett Favre. You've had, what's his name? All these pro coaches who are, trying to go off the fact that they were Brett Favre's quarterback coach, even though it's Brett Favre. Mike Holmgren made him, and anybody else who came in, a la Steve Mariucci, a la Chucky, the guy from Tampa. I can't even think of his name. But these two guys are not good coaches, and they basically just went off the coattails of Brett Favre, saying, "Oh, I was Brett Favre's quarterback coach," trying to take credit for something that they didn't deserve. Anyway. That's what I see. So, like, Brady Hoke comes in, what's he going to do? He's got no running backs. His defense is terrible. Denard Robinson's only good in a spread. He wants to run a pro style. He doesn't have the skill set for it. So you have a system set up for a spread, but you want to run a different system without the personnel. How successful are you going to be? I mean, Michigan again will go lucky to go 500. Their defense is not made for the Big Ten. There's no running. How can you not have a running back in Michigan? Just it's mind-boggling. But Denard Robinson, you want to put him in the pocket and say go back and drop back and pass? Forget about it. He's terrible like that. In all the big games, he threw all these interceptions near the end zone because you can't read coverage, you can't read defense. If you keep him in the pocket, forget it. He's not a good quarterback. They should make him a wing back. They should make him like a little receiver, use his speed that way. He's not a quarterback. He'll never be a drop back passer. He's maybe good in a wishbone, but you're not going to run that. So what do you have with him? So that's the problem in Michigan. So I don't see Brady Hoke coming in trying to use Rich Rodriguez's personnel is going to help. So Michigan's going to be, you know, I look for Notre Dame. That could be one of my first locks of the year is when they play Notre Dame and jumping on Notre Dame over them, because Michigan will not, you know, they just, you know, their defense might improve, but do they have the skill set and the players that really you need for that defense? And Brady Hoke at San Diego State, he put up some points because he had Ryan Lindley and he had the running back Hillman, but you know what? They lost to TCU. They were beaten by 40, and they came back and lost by like 10 last year. Is their claim to fame, like 45 to 35 or something like that? You know, so it's not like they won the conference. I don't get Brady Hoke as the hire. I don't see it. I don't see a good hire for Michigan with that. So let me go down, and I'm going to read the new coaches. Obviously, at Ohio State, you have the assistant coach. It shouldn't change it that much, but we'll see who comes in. If it's Urban Meyer, then that'll be okay. So we see who their new coach is. North Carolina, Butch Davis got fired. Again, one of the assistants will take over. Won't hurt him too badly, but it'll still hurt him. Stanford, it was another assistant that took over with Andrew Luck. Probably won't hurt him too much. Florida, Muschamp is there. I think it's a terrible hire. I don't see that. Texas wasn't, you know, I don't get Texas. They don't really impress me year in and year out. With Vince Young, it was just a fluke. So I think that's a negative on Florida. Vanderbilt got a new coach. I think they'll be terrible. Indiana, new coach. They're going to be very weak. We'll be locking against them a lot this year. Michigan, I talked about, Brady Hoke. Minnesota got a new coach. Maryland got Randy Edsall from Connecticut. I don't know. I think they'll still be a middle-of-the-road pack. I don't think he was all that great of a coach. Miami of Florida got a new coach, Al Golden. Okay, that might work there, but Miami needs a quarterback. They've got all the talent. They need a quarterback. I don't know what happened to that program, why they got so bad, but I'm sure Michael Irvin can bring in some players for them, and they'll get right back where they should be. Colorado, I do not understand how in the world, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. The guy from Boise could not have coached any better there. It just blows my mind. As good as he was at Boise, he never ran the same system, and he ran his kid for whatever reason. The kid obviously wasn't any good, and never should he have coached his kid. That killed him. So I don't get that, but he's a good coach. I'd hire him. Pitt's got a new coach. Shouldn't hurt him. Connecticut, I have no idea. San Diego State and Tulsa. Now Tulsa's got a fabulous offense. Like Kinney, the quarterback, and they're loaded, so I would look for them to keep that passing offense open. These are the teams with new coaches. So keep in mind what you want to do with that. Here are the teams with new quarterbacks that I'm going to specify if they're freshman or sophomore. You have Alabama with a sophomore quarterback. This will hurt them at Penn State. They won't be as explosive. Arkansas, that quarterback change won't be bad. I saw him against Auburn. He looked pretty good, the backup, so I don't think there'll be much of a drop-off. Ole Miss, Auburn, of course there'll be a huge drop-off. Kentucky, Ohio State with Terrell Pryor leaving will hurt. Wisconsin starts a sophomore. Indiana starts a sophomore. Iowa will go down drastically. Minnesota. Missouri starts a sophomore. Kansas State. Texas Tech. Texas Tech, plug him in, he'll be fine. Iowa State. Kansas is going to start a freshman. Look out for that, unless he's an option type of quarterback. With Turner Grill, he might be. Clemson's going to start a sophomore. North Carolina State. Virginia Tech's going to start a sophomore. He's a big mobile guy. I don't know there. North Carolina starts a sophomore. Georgia Tech's going to start a freshman, but it's a wishbone attack, so it really shouldn't matter. Virginia's going to start a sophomore. Washington loses Jake Locker. They're going to start a sophomore. Cal is going to be very weak this year for some reason. I don't understand it. Connecticut with a freshman. Louisville with a freshman. TCU loses Andy Dalton. That'll be a drop-off for them. They got a game on the road. Be careful with them. They got to go play at Boise. They will not win that game with the sophomore quarterback. Wyoming's going to start a freshman. Right there is, we will be betting heavily against Wyoming. It's just you can't start freshmen, and it just doesn't work in college football. It's too big of a jump, unlike pros. Now here's the teams with strong quarterbacks. Georgia, South Carolina. Florida does have Charlie Weiss as their offensive coordinator. I'd look for that. Tells you they're going to run more of a pro style there. With Brantley, it could be okay. Illinois, Michigan State, Northwestern, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Baylor, Oregon, Stanford obviously with Andrew Luck. Utah has a very good quarterback. BYU, the kid's a sophomore. Jay Keeps is the #1 quarterback last year to be signed out of high school. He's very good. Notre Dame with Brian Kelly will be very good. Hawaii, Minos, very good quarterback. East Carolina, Tulsa, Kinney I told you about. Houston, I can't think of the guy's name. He's very good. Casey Keenum, sorry. He's an outstanding quarterback in San Diego State. I talked about Ryan Lindley. They will be very good. That's the teams you key on are the ones I just mentioned. And you can certainly email me. I can send you a list of all these. A couple of teams who have returning starters but they're sophomore are Rutgers and Colorado State. Rutgers, I don't know. They're always kind of weak offensively, and their defense is okay. So I wouldn't run to play Rutgers, but you just don't know. And another team that I love this year that I'm going to bet heavily often is Air Force. They got a lot of returning starters, the same coach, and all they do is cover. Just very good against the spread. Anyway, those are the new quarterbacks to look out and play against. Those are the strong quarterbacks that you are looking to play, and the new coaches that it's going to take time, so be careful of those teams. Anyway, this is the Teaser King. You can reach me at www.teaserking.com. You can email me there. You can leave comments here, and I will be happy to send back. If you want to leave your email here, I can send you this list or create the list for you, or just talk about anything you want to talk about. Have a great day. Have a great year. And I will start breaking down the conferences for you for this 2011 NCAA college football season. Have a great day, and I look forward to chatting with you more. Take care.